Well, Joyce, like many Republicans, Grays Harbor's Representative Jim Walsh has been very critical of the governor during the pandemic, but his most recent act has brought criticism from both sides of the aisle and from the Jewish community, who say this deserves more than just someone saying they made a mistake.
All political power is inherent in the people.
It was right there in plain sight, a yellow Star of David on the chest of State Representative Jim Walsh.
The Holocaust was one of the worst moments in human history.
Mary Cypers of the Anti-Defamation League called the gesture offensive and inappropriate. 6 million Jews forced to wear yellow stars during World War II were killed by Nazis. In an interview with the Seattle Times, Walsh said before speaking at the Lacey event last Saturday, someone from the Washingtonians for Change group gave him the star, symbolizing a loss of rights from pandemic restrictions like forced shutdowns, mask mandates, and vaccine requirements.
Using it to compare it to health restrictions that are meant to save lives in advance public health is just such an outrageous connection and something that should just never be done.
I was there.
State law encourages high schools to include lessons about the Holocaust.
In the quiet of the night, these German soldiers yelling at the top of their lungs, "Alle Juden, raus! All Jews, get out!"
That measure passed in 2019, and Representative Walsh voted for it. After criticism and calls for apologies, Wednesday, Walsh went on KTTH's The Jason Rantz Show.
It was an idea that just didn't execute right. It didn't execute effectively, and for that, I'm terribly sorry.
Walsh followed up with a written statement today. Quote, "I apologize for using a profound image in a way that was inappropriate and offensive to so many people. It was wrong. It won't happen ever again."
I don't think it's enough.
Cypers thinks Walsh should visit Seattle's Holocaust Center for Humanity.
I would encourage him to meet with Holocaust survivors, and I would encourage him to work proactively to really think about how we can make our society a more inclusive space as anti-Semitism and all kinds of hate are just skyrocketing.
Representative Walsh also compared Jim Crow laws to some of the COVID restrictions. We wanted to ask if he planned on apologizing about that, but he refused our request for an interview. Live in Olympia, Drew Mickelson, King 5 News.